This is the Wizard WZRD Chicago 88.3 FM. We have with us at the Wizard three very special guests. They are part of the crew and one of the stars in the documentary White Light. It's Smiley, who appeared in the film, and everybody introduce yourselves to the audience.
I have my producer slash cameraman slash best friend, LBX.
Okay.
I got my shadow with me, my other half, my better half, my girl, Martha.
Okay. Well, first of all, please give us a little background of yourself and how you became a violence interrupter.
Okay, well, I was born and raised in Inglewood, that's outside Chicago. So, just growing up, all the violence around the neighborhood, and I also lost my brother, due to the violence, and running the streets and everything, and to the point where when I got older, as I started getting older, gradually getting older, I wanted to see the neighborhood do better.
Mm-hmm.
So I, started a few guys that was working for Ceasefire. They were telling me about the program and what they do and stuff. So from doing voluntary work for Ceasefire to up to working for Target, which I do now, Target area development.
Mm-hmm.
And we try to just keep the peace in the neighborhood and try to find out other ways than violence to solve the problems that's in the neighborhood.
What's that Target about? Is that a term for your work, a special area? Or?
Yes. Target is a nonviolent, way of letting the community know that there's people that's out here that cares,
Mm-hmm.
and we try to, we are people from the community that was raised in the community,
Mm-hmm.
so we go be the first one. We know that half of the kids that be out there is our relatives anyway, or part of our kids, or we know their mothers or fathers or anything, so we all grew up in the neighborhood.
Mm-hmm.
So we the first ones online to talk to them before, the police do.
Mm-hmm. And you know the neighborhood the best. No one knows the neighborhood better than you.
Right, the community leaders and the people that live, the neighbors.
Right.
The community, as they say. So.
What can be done to interrupt violence?
Well, like I said, first thing, it comes from home first. So it got to be taught at home. Then once it come home, because, I was, the reason the way I am, I was taught at home first. Just because I strayed away from the teachings, I was still taught, to
Mm-hmm.
always be humble and always respect other people, so it always starts at home first, then it bleeds off into the community.
If there are homes that don't start the kids off in the right way, is there anything that you could do to help?
Yeah, well, like I said, it's a community effort, and as they say, it takes a village to raise a child. So it's not, if it don't come at home, if it's coming from the community, it's still there, because if the community is also home is where you reside and where you be at. The community is where everybody resides and everybody show each other love and appreciation. So it's a big part of the community to also have love and show some type of structure.
What part of the community can be involved in this? Are you talking about churches, schools, or?
No,
or
I'm
even
talking about
some
your
other-
next door neighbor. I'm talking
Mhm.
about from your next door. Everybody who stay on one block, every block that stays on, that's a community, or that's where it starts at. Then once you venture down the other blocks, if they doing the same thing, then once you go down to that block, you'll get the same love. It was just like it was back in the day. You couldn't go down the street without acting up, without getting disciplined. Then when you get home, you get disciplined too. So it's still the same concept that works.
How well does everybody know everybody else? How close are the neighbors?
Well, neighbors not as close as they used to be anymore. So it's a lot of new people moving into the neighborhood because of the way they got things structured now. So it's like there's no long-term families. If it is, it might be 1-2 families that's on the block that's been over there probably 20, 30 years or something like that. Otherwise than that, it's not as close as it used to be.
What about when new people, new families come in? How do they become involved in the community? Is there any starting point where
Well,
they
no,
could?
you just once you see people, like if I was seeing some people that I was interested in and want to know more about what they had going on, I would approach them and watch them for a minute. That's the first thing, watch and see what's going on. If I see they trying to do something for the community or whatever, then I would approach them and see what they inquire more information about them.
Mhm.
So inquire more information about them.
Mhm.
So I'm sorry about that.
Oh, that's okay.
Inquire more information about the situation. So it's just once you go anywhere, you're supposed to inquire about what's going on in the neighborhood anyway.
Hmm. But most people don't do that, I think.
Well, that's why I say the community's not like they used to be.
Mhm.
Everybody in their own little section. Everybody not doing what the community is supposed to be doing.
With whom do you work to end violence?
Well, like I said, I work in my community on my block where I was raised at, where I got
Right.
the biggest influence.
Mhm.
So I try to keep the younger generation focused and let them know there's more things out here to do, than run the streets. First of all, then it's other alternatives. If somebody step on your gym shoe, or somebody looking at you the wrong way that you don't like, it ain't got to be violent.
Right. Because I've seen you in white light, and you. How do you find the situations where you need to be at?
Well, they actually come to me.
So you have a reputation to. Well, then they want to follow in your footsteps. Then.
Yeah. So I get a lot of phone calls. People know that I'm easy to talk to, and I got a kind of a head on my shoulders that can assess the situation and know whichever way we need to go to handle the situation. So a lot of times, sometimes I might be walking to the store, just walking or driving through, and I run into a situation. So it's like it ain't like we got people looking for conflicts to. They just they're always in the neighborhood, so it's they go call.
Do you have any insight about what elected officials can do to help alleviate violence?
Well, first of all, they can get more in tune with the communities.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of our elected officials are not doing what they're supposed to do. And as far as the police as well, it's they work for us, so them they riding around and just a lot of guys don't have. I know when young guys be gathering and stuff, sometimes things happen, but they got to know that they there to protect them, not there trying to jump out and lock somebody up. And y'all know that and half y'all don't even stand in the community. So y'all don't care about locking nobody up. Y'all don't got no ties around here. Y'all ain't friends with nobody family. So y'all don't care about locking nobody up. But it got to be different. It got to be a different approach from law enforcement on how they deal in the community and they don't stay around there. If you ask me, I think all police officers should stay in the neighborhood. If you go be around patrolling, so you need to know who the community is and the people, and people will open up more to talk to you because they know, all right, okay, Officer Woo stay right there.
Mm-hmm.
So I know I can talk to him. But if you going way out into the hundreds or in the suburbs somewhere, you don't care about what's going on in my community. It's just a job to you.
Is there any way that people in the community could become police officers?
Oh yeah, it's as long as you keep your nose clean and everything straight, your background straight, you can become anything.
Mm-hmm. Do you have anyone now that any people now that are in the community that you could at least work with?
Yeah, we have a couple of law enforcement officers that's in the neighborhood that pretty level-headed and understand what's going on in the community. But like I said, those officers that do their job and know what it's like, because they stay in the community. They was raised around there. Like I said, some of these law enforcement officers, they ain't never been in the hood, as we say, a day in their life. So they looking at us. They living up to the stereotype about what they hear about what's going on. Instead of seeing like this could be my nephew or this could be my my son friend or whatever. And if they looked at the situation more like that, then they'll show more compassion in the neighborhood.
You have a reputation of being a violence interrupter. Could you tell us a little bit about how you came to get that reputation?
Well, it's like I said, when you love people you go try to find ways to keep everybody alive, as they say, because violence only begot violence, and when you I hate when people think like you're the only one that can put out violence, or you're the only one, you're the biggest and you're the toughest. You know, it's other people. So I love my family enough that if something got to happen, then it's just gonna happen. That's just the way it is. It's always been like that. Clans fighting each other, families fighting each other. It's always been like that. But if you can come to a peaceful agreement or whatever, where everybody understand and follow the rules, then it ain't got to come to violence. So I love my family enough. I want to see him tomorrow. I want to see her tomorrow. I want to see my brothers and my sisters tomorrow. So if I know people constantly warn, it's a chance I might not see them again. So we gotta come up with peaceful solutions that we know that I'm gonna make sure I'm gonna see them again tomorrow.
Do you have any maybe share one or two success stories that with the audience about what you have done?
Oh yeah, it's so many. It's so many times that I didn't de-escalated, something in the neighborhood. It's not even one time that actually stand out more than the rest, because even just two little children fighting can escalate to something else. Because when family members and parents come around, stories get misconstrued, and I've seen a lot of time family fights and stuff over just because two little kids was arguing fighting outside. So it's so many times that we done helped in the neighborhood. I can't even pinpoint specific.
Well, in White Light, there was a description of how people just fight in social media, just a wrong post, maybe a wrong sentence, a wrong word, and then everything escalates.
Yeah, social media supplied a way for people that don't even stay around each other to be mad and argue at each other. You could be all the way over there in Russia somewhere, and just because I don't like your opinion or you don't like my opinion, now we cursing each other out, and it's just social. These guys might stay on one block, these other guys might stay on the whole nother side of the city. Now they got a chance to argue and fight with each other, and it's just people don't use social media for what it's supposed to be.
How do you address that when people do start fighting because of social media? What's your solution? How do you talk them out of it?
Well, I try not to. First of all, I'm gonna try to talk to them off social media. It's better to always talk face to face than over phones and things like that, because messages can get lost. So you try to get all parties involved together at the same time if that's possible. Sometimes it might not be possible for them to get together. They might just be like, all right, we understand, and this side might be like, all right, we understand. We might not be able to get them, but later on at a later on time, we're gonna try to get them together and try to talk about a peaceful solution. But the main thing is try to get the parties together to try to stop the problem.
Are you saying that for because a lot of government officials, they don't actually live in the community, so is that a major factor of why they're not working hard enough to prevent?
That's a big major factor, because first of all, the people in the community go feel like you stay in a mansion, or you don't understand what I'm going through.
Right.
Especially if you never have. Now, if you have understand what I've been through, then okay, I might can talk to you. You might understand. But they look like y'all don't understand and y'all don't care, because once y'all get from in front of the cameras or whatever, y'all go about y'all life. Y'all don't care, So the community, it's a big gap between the community and the leaders of the community.
Have you ever considered running for a public office and being a part of the community and a part of what could be done for the community?
Not really public office, but I'm kind of happy with doing what I'm doing for the community. I know it can be bigger, but everybody got to do what they do for their own community. So I just want to be the face, or the beginning, where everybody can model what I did in their own community, because I can't just go to another community and get them to do what we're doing in our community. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of work in our community that we're not all the way where we're supposed to be. So they always say you got to fix your house first. So until my house get fixed, then ain't no way I can go somewhere else and try to fix it.
Is there anyone asking you for advice from other communities because of your appearance in White Light?
Well, yeah, well, like I say, my as me being a violence interrupter and my job, we collaborate with other communities and other guys that work with us that's from other neighborhoods. So we always got insight and we always keep in contact with each other to, see what we can do to keep the community at ease during the summer times, because that's like our worst times, in Chicago, the summertime.
Just because everybody is outside.
Everybody is, it's not hard, everybody outside. Everybody.
Do you feel that there is enough of a will to end the violence?
Nope. I think a lot of people don't even care until it hit home. So people don't, or it hit a family member, or or a close neighbor or something. People really don't care if it's not affecting them, and that's with anything that's going on. If it's not affecting them, they don't care. So it got to be just because you doing good and your family doing good. You see somebody else not doing good in their community. Ain't nobody saying you got to be out there marching with people, but whatever you do can help. Just awareness and you spreading the word. That's help. So,
what other resources do you feel you need that could help you in your work?
well, first thing, our recognition of who we are. You know what I'm saying? Is the first thing that would help. And what I'm saying is, as far as our culture, as far as we're not African Americans, first of all, because ain't no way you could be from two continents. Ain't nobody on the planet from two continents but us. You know what I'm saying? Me myself, and a lot of my people identify as American Indians, because I know my bloodline, because it was passed down. So if just us on paper being recognized as the Indians, that's almost like reparations, because because this is our land. We are the indigenous people. You know what I'm saying? Our ancestors are the Coppertone people of Turtle Island. So once people understand that who we are, and they grew up and understand who they are, then that'll be the first major thing.
So a lot of people don't even understand what they are themselves.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm. And then how can we address that? By schooling? What would you suggest?
Definitely school, because right now it's a lot of miseducation that's being taught in school, and not even the right history. And it's coming out. It's coming out like the truth about where people from, and define their areas as far as the planet. So it's not like it's a huge mystery now. Everybody know that the different geographical places and what people lived on them places at the times, because they got the knowledge.
But yeah, go ahead.
So it's like school, definitely school, but at home too. Yeah, everybody don't know this. So if the parents don't know, then how can they teach it? So everybody got to know this knowledge, and it should be taught at home first, but definitely in school, because even in history, who did Christopher Columbus meet when he first came to the shores? They said Indians, right? So it had to be some people before them, but that history not even taught of who the people was here.
Mm-hmm.
And also, where are they descendants right now? Y'all trying to say they got wiped out? No, they still here. We here.
Mm-hmm.
They us. We the descendants.
So it's there. Do you feel that a lot of these facts are just not being addressed, or they feel something else is more important to be taught?
If it's being talked about, it's just it's just as a whisper. Then it's nothing being done about it.
Mm-hmm.
For it to be. And I think I seen something that they changed Columbus Day for Indigenous Day.
Yes.
So okay, so that's a start.
Mm-hmm.
So that is a start. You know what I'm saying? But it got to go deeper than that. People got to definitely know. Everybody know who they is, but us. So once we do that, I think that'll change a big factor, not just over here, but on the planet. Period.
So I guess first of all, you have to ask the schools to address their curriculum.
Well, we shouldn't have to ask the schools anything, because like I said, this is our land. So the school's supposed to teach this because we tell them to. Mm-hmm. Because we the landlords. They rent the land. I know they don't teach this and people don't know this, but we are the landlords of the land. Mm-hmm. So it's not that we should ask them they supposed to do it.
Mhm. But maybe they don't realize it, or maybe they're just ignoring it.
It's that, like I said, it's not even being talked about.
Mhm.
So it's like, and the right people not in charge. And like I said, it goes all the way back to the beginning. Like I said, if we can be recognized who we is, then that's gonna start the ball, and everything else will fall right in line.
Who do you think should be in charge?
Well, who? It's not like who should be in charge. It should be, like I said, everybody almost on the planet know where they from, and the people that are originally from that area are running the land.
Mhm.
We the only ones that's not. Everybody else getting paid off us and off our labors and and the things our ancestors did. But we're not reaping the benefits. We don't know who we is, and it's we all the way so far where we supposed to be. So we got to start back from kindergarten. Even grown people, we got to start from kindergarten and move up as far as the knowledge goes.
In other words, colonization is still alive and well.
Oh yes, very much, very much.
What other organizations do you collaborate with you?
Well, there's a lot of organizations out there that feel the same way that we feel, and a lot of community leaders that do try to do something. But like I said, they not getting no help either. So that even all the marching and all, it's not getting nothing done. Like Father Flagger is a big part of trying to help the community. And I know he be having a hard time getting things done. I know his voice, stronger than ours. So it's like it's not the people that is trying to do something, they're not getting no help. People not caring, and like I said, people happy with their own little piece of the pie or their own little grain of sand on the beach. They happy with that. So until they want more, then it's not gonna change.
In other words, there has to be someone in charge that will want that feels that is part of the indigenous, and then understands, and then make that change. Otherwise, it's not going to happen.
Exactly. There got to be somebody that know the history. Let's go fight, no matter what happens. For the rights to be preserved as the law is anyway. So we do have laws in place that protect the indigenous people, and but if you don't know the laws, then you go continue to fall under these codes and these different citations. That they got a million of them. So they gonna find something to try to get you under. But if people knew the real law, then it'll be a big change, a dramatic change.
How did Jitos find you, and how did he include you in the film?
Well, actually, I wasn't even a part of the film at first. It just so happens that George, and shout out to George and Helen, for believing in us and doing everything they do. And shout out to the Peabody Museum in Salem, who showed our film and showed us love. But the original film that George was about to do was not about Mayblock and about our block. But when our friends was over where he was about to record at, where he was about to video tape at, and shout out to Khalid C3, he told George about Soldier and Kaylin, and George thought that'd be a better story to tell, about Inglewood and the stuff we going through. So it was just one day they was filming on the block, and I just rode up on the block, and Soldier introduced me to George. Then from there, everything just, when I talked to George, he just said I had to be in the film, and then I ended up becoming the voice of the film.
How long have you known Soldier?
Oh, I've been knowing Soldier for a long time. I've been knowing him since when he was walking, so.
Could you tell us a little bit about how you came to write the music and So all the whole soundtrack, you arranged it.
Oh, I just arranged one of the songs.
Mm.
I produced.
Well, I actually got a couple songs, but I got a couple songs on there.
Oh.
I use your beat.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So, but he produced all the City Off the Chain.
Mm.
I got that's like one of the top songs on there. And I was on house arrest actually when I wrote this song.
Oh.
And I told him like this. I'm like, man, they gonna love this song. And that was like 3-4 years ago when I wrote the song. So when George came and it's just like I bought the song, got the archives, and then went right with what we had going on. So not the original beat that we had for City Off the Chain. I know it got lost in the computer or something. So I took him to right on spot. Took him to the studio. He made a new beat for it, and that's the beat that's on the
Soundtrack.
on the soundtrack now. So
It sounds really good.
yeah.
Thank you.
At Wizard, we assist the community for our quarterly issues that on-air DJs or wizards, we call ourselves wizards, that we must submit to the FCC or the Federal Communications Commission for non-entertainment programming.
Mhm.
What one thing is most important to you because you are a part of the community?
The first thing is love in the community. If we practice, you know what I'm saying, love, everything else will follow. You know, you gotta love the community. You gotta want to see the community doing better. So it all stems from love. If you got love, then everything else will follow.
What about the most important issue to address long term?
Well, family for me is my most important thing, you know, long term. But that includes the community. So, like I said, everything goes and coincides with each other. So if you got love and you got your family with you, then and the community with you, then it's the stars. You reach the stars.
And the problem that you would like to address short term that needs to be resolved right away.
Goes back to the love again. And the social media, you know, people stay off social media so much with all, you know, everybody got an opinion. Just because somebody got a different opinion or a different belief, it's not a bad thing, you know. Just everybody not Christians, everybody not Baptist or Jehovah's Witness or Muslim. So just because somebody else want to be different, they might want to do witchcraft. That's on them. You can't judge them. You know, this America. This supposed to be the land of the free, right? So people should have the freedom to do what they do without being judged.
Do you feel that people are a little bit too separated from reality because of social media?
Oh yeah, they far separated from. If you could pull up on a bus stop, you'll see everybody down looking in their phone. Like people would rather be in their phone than talk to you. People would rather be, you know, everywhere you go, phone, you know, I mean, music is on phones now, videos, everything is just convenient right there. So you can do your everyday life right there on the phone. And some people don't have a life, so social media gave them a way to have a life actually, because otherwise they probably won't have no friends or wouldn't know nobody if they want the social media. Mm-hmm. So it's not a bad thing that social media, it's just a tool people use it for the violence and all the negativity that you know, make it not okay with me.
What advice do you have for students who want to make a difference in ending violence?
Well, first of all, like I say, you start in your community and where, you know, where you gotta say so at, and it all starts from there. And if you don't have, if there's no violence in your community, which I'm sure there's some violence everywhere, no, it's just more awareness. Then go find somewhere. It's a million places in Chicago that need help. So find some of these nonviolent companies. Well, not companies, but you know,
organizations.
Yeah, programs. Mm-hmm. These nonviolent programs, and you know, just reach out to them and just let them know you're willing to do voluntary work. And just do voluntary work, and they'll definitely point you in the right direction of where you need to be if you're trying to help.
Well, there's never enough help. There's a lot of work to be done.
Oh yes, yes. Years of work. Mm-hmm. So it's not like no overnight thing, but like I said, if we can get the love out there first, then I'm sure everything else will follow.
Do you feel sometimes it's on account of people not loving themselves enough, and and then that kind of interrupts them from spreading the love to others in their community?
Yeah, like I said, it goes back to people don't know who they are.
Mhm.
So a lot of people think they're just descendants of slaves and things of that nature. So it's so horrible for our people that they don't see the future. You know, they don't have no goals or anything to look forward to because there's so much negativity about our people. Even all on TV, you know, anything that happened with our people, it's he's a gangbanger. A person can get shot. The first thing they go do is run his background. Why? He's a victim. He just got shot. Why did you run his background to see what he did? To see was the officer justified or was the what you know, any gang type of, you know, and I think that's very wrong for people to do that but when it comes to other people, they don't run their background. Or, you know, I done seen, and they done showed this. It's all over social media and everything. Europeans go and shoot up churches. They get walked out. Don't get a shot fired at them. You know, there's probably occasion one, maybe two get shot and killed, but they get walked out with no problem. They just killed 20, 30 people. Our people have a cell phone in their hand and get shot over 50 times. You know, that's not love. That's fear. You know, they only take a couple shots to put somebody down. So you got 6, 7 people shooting somebody over 50 times. That's, you know, so it's psychological on our people that how they feel about themselves. So if they're not loving themselves and always on TV, the negativity, they're being programmed not to love themselves, and that's why the things going on in the community.
Well, Smiley, we need more people like you advocating for the community, understanding the community, and helping educate the community as to the roots.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Smiley.
Well, thank you for having me out.
Thank you.
And,
Shout out to Ashley.
and oh yeah, shout out to Ashley. I'm sorry.
Shout out to Ashley.
Shout out to Ashley Taylor. You know what I'm saying? Bullets for Peace.
Mhm.
And
Here's one of the
yeah,
bracelets.
we got the bracelet here. I know.
We supporting you.
Yeah, definitely.
Help us, help
Much
you.
love.
Yes,
So y'all try to find and look Ashley up, and she's doing some nice things for the community.
A lot of good stuff.
And if you find a bullet or anything, y'all can take it to her and get you a bracelet made. You know, she make nice, you know. So they just know that this one bullet right here is not gonna kill nobody because that's gonna kill somebody. Nice model, you know. So shout out to Ashley.
Yes, Ashley explained. There's a little tool. It's called a bullet puller. It's like a hammer, and then the live round is put in there and struck against the hard surface, and then all the gunpowder is taken out of the bullet. So that takes the life out of the bullet.
Right.
And then inside the bullet, the shell casing, there's either a verse of scripture or a memorial to someone lost to violence.
Right.
And then the lots of times it's the children in the workshop that creates the bracelet, and that helps the children understand that their life is worth more than a bullet.
Yeah. Yes, and I just want to give a shout out to everybody that made White Light possible. You know, Soldier, Lil Mac, Lil Dave, John, most of all, Kaylin. You know, she's the star of the show. So thank you everybody, Father Flager. There's so many people I could barely name. And you know, my mind when you be on the spot, you know, your brain don't work like it's supposed to.
Do it.
Oh yeah. Thank you, Alan. You know, Kaylin Father for being very supportive and watching us, and as we support and rep his daughter to the fullest, because that's what we will continue doing. And I can't think of the brother name there with the basketballs.
Albert.
Albert. Shout out to Albert too, doing his thing. with the, basketballs to, to our youth and, spreading awareness, after he been through the tragedies he been through. And, just much love to everybody that was in the film. Sharon, Headshot, y'all know I'm thinking. Shout out to everybody. So, but especially a major and loving shout out to Helen and George and Wakar for flying all the way over here, from Australia to bring our life to the big picture, the big screen.
Well, that's what George does. He sees the trouble spots, and then he introduces the world to what's happening there because nobody else knows. For instance, in Rwanda, there was the genocide, and he was the first one to bring the pictures to show the world.
And shout out to everybody that worked on the soundtrack and the editing of White Light. It's so many I can't even think of everybody's name right now.
And for more information about Bullets for Life, go to bullets, 4, life, all in one word.org. Thank you so much for being with us on WZRD. This is WZRD Chicago 88.3 FM.
Peace. Well, I picked up my camera on the you ain't see it though. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. Okay, let me turn to the. Oh, you're welcome. Let me turn the camera off. Let's take some pictures as well. Do a little photo shoot. I can borrow someone from the outside.
Oh.
Oh, okay.